I do kind of want to get into. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can get into Shedeur now, and then we can get into Shannon Sharp. I do. I guess realistically, with for the most breaking news, the newer news into the whole Shedeur Sanders thing. Of course, people seen the prank call that was going viral, and because they was doing a live stream. They was on a live stream, and the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons' son did a prank call on Shedeur Sanders, and he was recording it. So like he record, I'm sure on the other end somebody recording it. They thought it was funny and thought everybody was just going to laugh, but I don't think that they and let's be clear. Do I think the joke may have been funny if he didn't go down as far, or do I think the joke would have been funny if this was like, let's just say if he was supposed to go in the first round, maybe top 5, and then he ended up going like 20 and you do it? Yeah, but I think him going to the 5th and then people starting to feel like, all right, y'all just playing in our face at this point. That is why the joke didn't go. That's why the joke kind of just literally people's like, all right, cool. This ain't one. It's not funny when people seen it, and this is 2 why the Atlanta Falcons had to come out and apologize. Why he had to come out and apologize. And I do think realistically his dad probably should lose his job. Because it's just like, bro, you can't shit what?
You can't control that. You saw it in a text message, in a text thread. If you know your parents' information or anything like that, you just looked over it. He said, nobody had that number. It was only sent out for the teams or whatever the case may be. So if somebody sent it out, anybody could have came across that. So for you to say and say, I lose my job because my son saw the email, how? It ain't like it's top secret, it ain't like this.
But if your son can get that, then people won't be sitting here and say, what else information could your son get?
Right, but that's just somebody. You acting like this not like even like if you not to put it in the to like politics, but you talking about some federal, some information like the shit that's blacked out that you're not supposed to see, but somebody's cell phone number, like not for me to lose my job.
I mean, it depends on how much the Atlanta Falcons want, and it depends on if the NFL gonna press it, because that will the reason why I sit here and say that he could easily lose his job, because I think a lot of people want to know is, then one, how did your son get the number, and then and then 2, why did your son think it was okay to call the number? Like if the Falcons was like it, because now it makes it just seem like that whole thing was just too fishy, because it was like what made your son even think?
But the Falcons wasn't even looking for it.
So that's everybody's point.
But that's what I'm saying. But if you sending out a email with like, hey, this is the contact information if you thinking about selecting them, right? So like I said, anybody can be in those rooms or whoever they have, fan, whatever in those rooms. So for somebody to get that email or even to see that email, you can't just be like, oh, well, nah, you deserve to lose your job. It's not that top secret.
I hear you, but let's trust believe. A perfect example, the way that you can even tie this into government, because even somebody in the chat just said that's a security breach. The same way when people sit here and was getting mad at Hunter Biden for the emails and shit like that. You cannot say, bro, this is your job. Your kid can't just be in put this. Your son ain't a part of the team. He don't get paid for this shit. How you get somebody's number? Why is your son in that information? Why is that information just so loosey-goosey in your house, where your son could just sit here and feel like, and that make people sit here and think like, oh, y'all knew as a whole in the collective that y'all was playing with these people in their face, and that's why your son thought it was okay to call him. Because how your son ain't know that y'all wasn't going to draft him? So that's the whole point. Like, you can't sit here and make it just seem like, oh, this is just some okay random shit to do. Like, hell no, it's not. You cannot, like, dog, you've never seen nobody do that. You can't sit here and make us be like, oh, and for listen to what I'm saying. I'm to the point now to where when we come to sports, I'm not here to sit here and tell nobody who you can like, who not to root for. But all I'm sitting here telling y'all is, you can't sit here and tell me y'all did game days for these people listen to what I'm saying. And you got to think, but to this point, I kind of even looked at it, was like, damn, I wish Deion at this, for the way they treated Shedeur, you might as well just stay at the HBCU for all that. Like the way that they played with him and how low that they took him, you might as well stay at the HBCU. But there's no way in hell you telling me for the last 2 years they did College Game Day, ESPN did a jump there, Fox Sports did one there. You can't sit here and tell me y'all did all of this hype and they was getting all of this conversation and clout that y'all was like. ESPN don't do college game. Guess what they're not going to do? They're not going to sit here and do College Game Day just for teams that nobody don't care about, or for players that nobody don't care about. If they sit here and take their time out to do these around teams and players that people actually care about. So you can't tell me this was all this hype on this boy, and then mysteriously now he that trash. Like I said, I'm not here to sit here and we just talking about business and marketing. Nobody wastes that type of business or that type of marketing on nobody that's going to sit here and damn near almost go undrafted. Like, it don't even happen. Like, I'm surprised, like, Gatorade and Nike ain't kind of put their nuts down on the ground. Like, bro, y'all about to sit here and tell us we got a whole commercial running to somebody who ain't even about to get drafted? Like, that don't make sense. Like, you can't even explain that to make sense to nobody. Besides sitting here saying, oh, y'all playing in our face right now. Like, you sitting here you cannot sell me. This basically almost damn near like we could tie this into dating or tie this into sex. Like, a girl sitting here telling you all the freaky stuff she gonna do to you, and then y'all finally get to the bedroom and then she just don't want to do nothing. Like, she just want to lay there and be a pillow princess. So like that, like, bro, you sold me this product all for 2 years. Y'all sold me on Shedeur. And and listen to what I'm saying. And this is how crazy it is and how just dumb people are, and just how you know, again, when I say you can tie it in the centers, though, that's how you know how many black people are just okay with whatever massa tell you, because it's nowhere in hell in what planet and we live in. Y'all been, I don't know how old everybody is, but you've been watching sports your whole entire life. When the hell did the wide receiver get more clout than the quarterback? On no team. Nigga, Jamar Chase be bowling his ass off, and who still get all the credit? Joe Burrow. Unless you sit here, there's the only nigga that I can sit here and honestly
he played both sides of the field.
What do that mean? He ain't on both sides of the field.
I thought that's what they was drafting for defense. They said they might let him play. I didn't think they was. I thought that's what they were drafting for cornerback. I didn't think they were drafting for wide receiver.
He got drafted for both. When
right, so that's what I'm saying. So I mean,
for both.
But it's not like he was just a wide receiver. He played on both sides.
Yeah, but we not about to make it like he was a cold-blooded dog on the defensive side, and even like he was locking niggas down. Okay. Like, don't listen. I'm saying, I'm not. I don't want to see it, and that's why I said people don't want to have a conversation, because I ain't nobody trying to sit here and shit on Travis Hunter. But I'm just calling a spade a spade. Ain't no way on God's green earth I've been living. The only wide receiver I've seen get more clout than the quarterback is Randy Moss, and Travis Hunter ain't fucking Randy Moss. So we not about to say
what's name did Marvin Harrison. Didn't he get clout last year? He got drafted. He got took.
You said who?
Marvin Harrison's son. He got took higher than his quarterback.
What you talking about? Who was the quarterback?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You saying a wide receiver don't get.
So you're missing the. Okay, even just listen. I'm glad you sit here and use that. I'm telling you now, we can sit here and you can even just off of physical attributes, Google Marvin Harrison size, height, and body style, and Travis Hunter. Them two niggas shouldn't even be in the same conversation. So that's all I'm sitting here telling you is, yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. Travis Hunter ain't Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's just be clear. That's all I'm saying. There is not a wide receiver on God's green earth, on nowhere, on no planet, especially in the NFL, that niggas talk about the wide receiver more than they talk about the quarterback. So there's no way in hell that the wide receiver go number two. Who?
Yeah, Travis. So I mean, what that comes with it. You won the Heisman.
Listen to what I'm saying. All of that is cool.
I never, like you said, for him to win the Heisman and Shedeur wasn't even mentioned in the Heisman. Right?
Yes, he was. He was a finalist.
I don't know. Mikey, what I'm asking, was he in it? I thought it was just what's the name? The Cam Ward dude, him, and the running back. I thought those was the three finalists.
They might have been the three finalists, but I'm talking about when it was five people left and then they was to selection. It was Shedeur, it was Cam Ward, and it was the running back. And realistically, it was a 2-man race. It was only the running back and Travis Hunter. But also, I don't care. Even still with that, the fucking running back still went 5. My whole point is, even if he was in that conversation, or even for the realistically, the way you was promoting Cam Ward, you promoted Cam Ward on, oh, should you take Shedeur? Should you take Cam Ward? So there's no way the number one pick, okay, that's who you was comparing them to. That's who you was using to promote the number one pick, because more people probably watch more. And I'm not talking about people. If you are a diehard college football fan, I'm not talking to. We talking about to the casual person who sit here and literally only may pay attention to what ESPN is talking about or what College Game Day. That's what we talking about. We talking about people who literally I watch, dog, and this is again why I sit here and say it's cool. Like, if we're gonna sit here and say we only going off of stats, and because I remember somebody in that listened to the show, and I posted on Instagram, he was in the comment section, was like, all right, let's just sit here and call it spade. If you're saying he mid, no, I made endless videos of this man throwing for 400+ yards. So if he mid because you're saying his conference mid, then cool, let's keep that same energy for whatever athlete we talking about. If we're gonna go judge off of just strict competition, so let's even we talking about women's, men's basketball, college football, whatever. Then if they don't play in the SEC, then everything else is mid. Everybody else conferences, they only play maybe one other good team. So that's what I'm sitting here saying. There's no, so we sit here, just if you sitting here taking away because his conference wasn't strong or he didn't play in a strong conference, then cool, do that with everybody. But that's why I sit here and say we just pick and choose what you will sit here and be like, all right, I'm cool with, okay, the stats matter, this matter, and that matter. You can't sit here and tell me that I know for a fact. I have to play this clip of what's this white nigga name? Colin Cowherd. I'm like, bro, just listen to what he said. Like, bro, like, what the fuck are we talking about, dog?
never a bad message to tell your kids, be humble. Don't gas your kids up too much. He is a 500 quarterback who couldn't get drafted in the first round. Bro, you wore New York Giant cleats. I know in society, everybody loves the TikTok watch thing. You know who doesn't apparently love it? NFL executives. You're drafting employees. Can we just go back in society where hard work matters and humility's not uncool? Is humility the worst thing? You gotta put legendary everywhere. How about you play a game? One. Just give me one game, and then you can put legendary all over your house. I don't care.
So again, like I said, though, just I'm cool on those white people, though, and that be the shit to be throwing me off. And then that will make. And then when people say stuff like that, and you hear me say, "Oh, you just don't listen to what we talking about." So he can't put legendary on this stuff, but LeBron James came fresh out of high school, didn't play a lick of college basketball or nothing. He had the chosen one on his back, and everybody in their mother ate it up. Like, though,
but he showed it though. We saw what he did.
What you saw? What
we
him
saw
doing?
Him
what
do
high
it.
School, right?
Yes, we saw him do it. We saw him in the Capital class. You saw him play. He was the truth. You saw him do it. Like I said, I feel like what probably hurted Shedeur a lot is, you didn't compete in the Columbine. You didn't play in the bowl game. The last game you saw was against BYU, and you stunk it up. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like you put it on like, I'm bigger than life, and they showed you that you wasn't that. That's what that's more of the, all right, I got to prove them that I'm the truth. I belong here. That's how you got to take it as.
I'm cool with it if you sit here saying you punishing him because he didn't do the Columbine and all that. I'm sure if they could redo some of the things that they may have done, you could easily see and say you may have.
Because remember how many times Deion said, he's not going to Cleveland, and then he still ended up going to Cleveland.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Do I think in certain parts of, and I'm gonna play this last little clip before we get off this topic. Do I think that maybe they took some missteps, or maybe kind of thought that they were bigger than the program with certain things, saying what school teams you wasn't gonna go to or you wasn't gonna do this. I'm sure if he could redo a lot of that stuff, maybe he would. Like maybe he would sit here and do the Columbine and do this, that, and the third. Like, and let's be clear, I don't think he's the only player who's never have.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of players, but I think when you have like with Caleb Williams, I don't think he tried out with every team. He knew he was going first, so he only tried out for Chicago.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I get that, but if you didn't have a mutual agreement, or you knew that, hey, I'm going to you blackballing yourself, not showing everybody else why they should pick you. Because if you figure, I know what's name going to take me, but you really didn't want to go to Cleveland, or you didn't want to go to New York, if you're not sitting there, you should have showed out for everybody.
Like I said, if those stories is true and he did do those things, I do think that those things may have came back to bite him in the butt. But to sit here and say, bro, he had too many games where he threw 400 yards. Too many games he threw in Division I college football for over 400 yards. Like, and let's be clear, and maybe his skill set is not to the point where if this was maybe 10 years ago, where it's just like a cool black quarterback and he's a pocket quarterback, they probably would love it. And I do think realistically, I think that was a lot of Deion telling him to just become a pocket quarterback. Because do I think realistically in 2025 the evolution of the black quarterback is extremely through the roof? Because I'm not about to sit here and make it like, do I think this Shedeur Sanders, what we at to the point now, we probably at least got a solid 15 black quarterbacks, if not more than that. Do I sit here and think he a top 15 black quarterback in the NFL right now? Hell no. Do I think he should be in the conversation? He shouldn't even be in the conversation with Justin Fields right now. No, I don't believe that. But do I sit here and can I still sit here and know for a fact that they sit here and played in this nigga face? Because it's too easy to sit here and discredit him and say, he should have did it this and that game. Because if that's the case, that's all I'm sitting here saying is, if we gonna judge that off of this, then let's keep that on the same board of everything else. Okay, he didn't win, or he didn't do this in the last game, they got blown out, because we can do that with a lot of other athletes. A lot of them. And nigga, with any sport, only one person can win a championship. So we can go down, you can pick whatever don't you want to see and say. So is that the case? No, so are we gonna sit here and say Cooper Flag is ass?
But I think he still competed. He got to the Elite Eight. He didn't get to the Final Four, right? He got to the Elite Eight. So we still seen him do something. So that's what I'm saying. I think, like I said, it's what you last did. If you left a bad taste in my mouth, the last film I got on you was terrible. I'm going off of that. And then you don't show up in the Columbine. So what else am I going off of? Like I said, you got to think about it. What you did in college and what you do in the pros is two different things. Like, remember how they was on Johnny Manziel, this, all this, boom, boom, boom. And then when he got to the league, he was the biggest thing. He was supposed to be the biggest thing. And then look, he was out the league right in a blink of an eye. I feel like a lot of players like, we're not going to sit here and keep wasting it on you, what you showed us or what you told us. We got to actually see it. And I don't think he won enough or did enough for him to solidify his spot.
I mean, I hear you. All I just see here say if that's gonna be the comp of how people judge athletes in general, judge everybody like that. That's all I'm just saying. If you're not going off of popularity, you're not going off of nothing, then we just going off of what I've seen and when the last time I seen you play and I seen you play in the big moments, then judge everybody off that same situation. Don't sit here and just make it like, okay, this is just a Shedeur thing.
I think a lot of teams are going to do that. Like I said, that's why I say I feel now because like even with them hype, like shit. Remember Mikey Williams? Like remember how he was the biggest thing talked about? What's name? Now you forget he even playing basketball right now. You don't hear him besides when he got in that little case he had. You don't hear him about him playing basketball.
Yeah, but that's because of the case.
But he's still been playing. He still has been playing. He played his college year.
This year was his first year. This year was his first year. Now he in the transfer portal. He went to some brand. Yeah, no. What you mean again? This is only his first time. Memphis cut him.
He went to UFC, right? He went to Florida. He went to Central Florida. That's where he's playing at.
Yeah, that's it. He only played 1 year.
He transfer again? No, you said he is in the portal now.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know he was in the portal again.
What you keep saying again? When was the first time?
With Memphis. He went to Memphis.
They cut him. He didn't get to go, nigga, because of the charge. That's my point. Like you'll be just like
no. Hold up. So what did the HBC? So he went to the HBC.
He didn't go nowhere, nigga. He never got to play. His first year playing college basketball was this year.
Well, what was the HBC? Didn't he say he said he was going to HBCU? HBCU.
He wanted to go to an HBCU. Then
he changed it and went to Memphis.
He never
got to play in Memphis, and last year was his first year
playing the floor.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I didn't know. But that's what I'm saying. For him to go in the transport portal again.
What are you talking about again? It's his first time. He never went nowhere else. He didn't play nowhere else.
Oh, so he didn't commit to the HBCU?
No, he just was talking.
I thought he committed to him.
Again, like I said, that's all I'm just saying is for everybody listening, just remember that it don't matter about your hype and all of this. So when they sit here, when we got 2 fucking weeks, when they sit here and tell you, oh, well, such and such bring all these views, it don't matter about the views. It don't matter how popular you is. It depends on what you do on the actual whatever court or field you play on. It don't matter how popular you is. None of that shit don't mean nothing. Come in and humble. Don't sit here and do the shiny watches and all that other shit. Because okay, cool. If he wasn't in that draft and he wasn't doing all that, niggas wouldn't care, and nobody don't care no other time. People don't be talking about the NFL draft like that. You talk about whatever player your team picked. Niggas don't be that invested like they was this year invested. And that's why I see and say I could pick a white nigga. I could pick him, and every last one of them gonna say the same shit that Colin Cowherd was saying. I'm gonna play this other dude. That's all I'm sitting here telling you. They basically sit here and told you, hey, you're gonna do what we say. You're gonna present the way we want you to present, or we gonna sit here and cut your lights off. And my only thing is cool. If y'all know that now, then from now on, sit here still in the back of your mind, sit here and say you can go to the UFL because that's all the UFL would need. Because I be watching them games, nigga. Them shits be, and that's the difference between. And I think that is to me, if I'm especially a football player, do not let this discourage you from building your brand, because that's all the UFL need is a star. Because I promise you, if he would have went undrafted, he would go play for I just don't know none of these players, but it's still football. And I could be honest, that level of defense, because I kept watching that and I've been tweeting about it. I'm like, damn, I've been watching a couple UFL games. Do all these games be this low? No, the highest score game that I seen. No, them Jones been low. Like I didn't watch for 2 weeks now, maybe even 3 weeks now. Because today, like this was the first game I actually seen a high scoring jump. It was DC versus Texas. I think they're Arlington, Texas. They got a football team, and DC got their team. This was like the highest scoring game I seen. But realistically, I don't know none of these players. So all they need realistically is a star player. So some listeners sit and say if Shedeur would have went undrafted, I guarantee you he go play in the UFL. Niggas is going to watch the same way with Unravel. People are going to watch because hey, I know it's not. I don't need the WNBA. I can go play somewhere else, and they was competing against the NFL playoffs and the NBA all of that time. So imagine if they would sit here and say, "I'm gonna do a competitive league, play against the WNBA during the summertime when ain't shit else going on."
Yeah, but I think that's your dream is to be in the NFL. I don't.
That's why I understand. I understand. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I understand because listen to what I'm saying. I get it. I understand it because it's a dream. But sometimes you can't sit here and allow your dream to just neuter who you are as a person either. Just because it's my dream, that don't mean for me to sit here and say, let me just go get neutered. Because that's basically what they telling you is like, you ain't a good old boy. You need to get neutered. You told you with the big chains and the watches. Like, what the fuck do any of that matter?
Still a job.
All of them had chains on.
But I get you. You keep saying the chain, but I think if you sit here and present to me, hey, I don't have to take my chance with that. I don't have to give you that money. It's still a job. It's still, like I said, me taking you. I don't believe that you really what you are. That's all I'm saying. They don't believe in him. Now, if you got to go out here and show that you are him, then that's what you do.
Do you believe the quarterback y'all got better than him?
What quarterback? No, he's not even gonna make the team.
All right.
Well, what do we take? That's what I'm saying. He was not something that we needed.
What you mean? You think you got a quarterback?
Okay. Do you want to bet? How much?
Yeah, I would bet whatever you want to bet. You don't have a black quarterback. You know I will bet you.
Okay. Well, we had, but didn't have black quarterback before. What is the difference?
All right.
How much you want to bet? What you want to say now?
You make it.
How many games? What you saying? How many games we gonna win?
Whatever on your.
Stop saying make it whatever. No, you tell me what you want to bet. We don't win 10 games. What are you betting?
Did you win 10 games last year?
Yes, we won 10 games last year. And the year before that.
Don't worry about it. I bet
shocked within the NFL and team buildings when Shedeur Sanders did not go in the first round. I would fairly tell you it is a surprise that he is still on the board at the start of day 3. Philosophically, some teams feel like if you are drafting at the quarterback position specifically, if you think you've got a starter, you take him in round 1. If you're drafting somebody to be your backup, you don't want to do that until day 3. I spoke last night with one general manager who is considering taking Shedeur Sanders today. He pointed back all the way to March 2024 and something that Shedeur's father, Deion Sanders, said on a podcast talking about both Shedeur and Travis Hunter, saying that if they are drafted by a team that they don't want to go to, he's going to step in and pull an Eli, meaning force those players to not actually go to that team and try to get them traded. Throughout the pre-draft process, Shedeur Sanders very much proceeded as if he was dictating to clubs where he was going to go rather than how the draft works, which is the other way around. And there were a bunch of opportunities missed at the various checkpoints through that pre-draft process. Go all the way back to All-Star season. Instead of going to the Senior Bowl, he went to the East-West Shrine Bowl in his backyard in Dallas. Despite an NFL memo saying if you go to these All-Star games, you have to practice, Shedeur chose not to. At the Combine, it is now well documented some of his formal interviews did not go well. One assistant coach told me in all his years it was the worst formal interview he'd ever been through. People said that Shedeur was trying to dictate how he wanted things to go and made them feel small. Even at the Pro Day, the entire Big 12 had an event in Dallas. Shedeur was there, but did not work out. He had a showcase instead in Colorado, all of which is to say for a player who had a variety of questions, both about the talent level, how he would fit into an NFL system, how he would adjust from his play style in college, but also about the potential culture shock of for the first time playing for someone who is not his father. There were opportunities that Shedeur Sanders could have taken there. He seemed to feel as if he was in an elite category where he could choose the few teams he wanted to go to. Now some of those very same teams that might be considering taking Shedeur today didn't get those opportunities to answer their question.
What teams want on these visits, and we can debate, whether they should, but what they want is to hear a player that is coachable, that is willing to accept information, that is willing to adapt when they're being asked to adapt. He didn't communicate that on a lot of these visits. Again, we could debate this, but I'm just telling you that that's what these teams got, and that's what Tom is communicating.
So, like I said, shout out to Shedeur Sanders. And for most black people, if you really into the hip-hop take, Shedeur Sanders already won before the draft. When I seen him with Sincere, Jesus Christ, bro, you already won in life, dog. And that was my only point, and that's the reason why I sit here and say with the UFL thing, where it's like some shit to be like, cool. If I understand if that was your dream and that's been your dream your whole entire life, that you got to go play in the NFL.
Who was she attached to?
Who? Because
I heard somebody was saying,
I think her and London on the track dated at one point in time, and I guess they tried to bring up her. I don't even care. Let me tell you how. Listen, and again, I guess we can kind of tie this into Shannon Sharp in 2 seconds. I don't care whatever their age gap is because it ain't that dramatic. This girl ain't in her 40s. It ain't. So this is what I'm saying. And then you gotta understand.
I think she's 28 and he
like 20 fucking 20. Oh, exactly. So that's my point. So that was just somebody hating that girl. I knew for a fact. I didn't even. That's what I'm saying. I got 2 eyes. Was not going to Google how old she was because I knew she wasn't 40, and I knew if she was 30, she had to be 30 on the nose. Yeah, that girl is fine as hell, and she is fat as all outdoors. Shout out to Shedeur Sanders. I don't give a goddamn what team you did or would not have got drafted to, nigga. If you could have laid up and you're sitting here in your sympathy box with some sincere, nigga, you won in life. If you sitting here saying day one you didn't get drafted and you sit here and need some sympathy cheeks or some sympathy neck, I would take that from sincere and getting draft number 1, 2, fucking I don't care, dog.
She could just dance for me. Shit,
so that's what I can say. So shout out to Shedeur Sanders, and like I said again, my only thing to everybody. I think to me, my biggest learning lesson was you kind of just got to pay. You have to do your own homework. One, I always tell y'all, you got to watch sports on your own. You got to watch whatever shows or listen to whatever music you want on your own, because sometimes people will have their own bias when they talk about you. Because you can see clear as day. You can hear, like, I play all the clips from different white people, but if I sit here and go play Stephen A. Smith went absolutely crazy on the NFL, and everybody else would try to tell him something else different. So that's my whole point of it, is like, you just got to pay attention to where you get your information from. And it's so easy if you don't, I think realistically for people, why it was so much pushback and why people sit here was up in the uproar, because y'all can't, dog. Niggas don't forget that they stayed up until 1 o'clock in the morning watching this nigga play football, dog. A college football game, like nobody ain't gonna forget that fucking Colorado versus Colorado State the first year they was there. Nobody gonna forget. For most people, especially if you live in the state of Maryland, dog, that whole week FanDuel and all that stuff got legal like right around the same time that college football season started. So for most people, their first big hit was off of the strength of Colorado. So it's like, I can't forget all of those things. And I think that's why so many people are so invested in it. It's kind of like, yeah, if this was any other time, if this was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago in the NFL draft, I got to listen to what Colin Cowherd say. I got to listen to what any of these other people say. But I always tell people, that's why when even people say, when they use the word casual, bro, it's 2025. If you actually care about anything, you can't be a casual to nothing because you can get everything for free. It's endless apps. I'm not going to tell y'all none because y'all already fucked up the Stream East junk. Like that, y'all annoyed the hell out of me because that was my favorite app to use. Like that joint is completely dog shit now. But that's my whole point of it is, but you can literally watch whatever sport, whatever TV show you want. You can listen to whatever music you want. If you actually are passionate about something, there's no reason that you can't watch it. And I don't because I don't want to stay on sports no more. I want to get into Shannon Sharp, but I'm gonna tell y'all because I'm just gonna double down on it before we transition over. I told y'all niggas who watch the Lakers or call yourself Lakers fans, you don't watch basketball. The games come on too late. And they come on too late during work days, and that's why y'all thought that fucking Luka. And that's why I will argue any of you niggas down. I know y'all highlight fans. Luka, if you watch highlights, yes, Luka was a better trade for Anthony Davis. But if you actually watch basketball and you know anything about basketball, you know for a fact that trade was horrible. And guess what it is now? You have to watch it in real time, and that's why the Minnesota Timberwolves is up 3-1, and that's why Nas Reed is busting the Lakers' ass. That's it, and that's all, dog, because he ain't got to play defense on the other end. And LeBron James is fucking old, and he have his moments where you clear as day can see this nigga is old. He be having some jokes where he be like, damn, this old nigga still got it. And then certain times, bro, I seen him get a steal, and he slowed down on a break to look for a pass. And never on the previous 18 years before we get to 22. If we talking about LeBron, 18 years, and dog, he would have threw that shit down every time. When I seen, I said, oh, this nigga old for real. He slowed down. He got a steal and slowed down and slowed it down to look to kick the ball. I'm like, bro, why you ain't go to the rock? But again, I got to remember, nigga, he's 40. This is year 22 for him. But again, like I said here and said, if you were somebody, and I told y'all this when the trade happened, Anthony Davis plays both sides of the ball at an elite level. He sit here and get blocks. He get rebounds. He gets steals. He impacts the game more than just highlights. Luke, let's be clear. Even this game, Luka had a lot of highlights, dog.
No, and I think it's more of the long term than it is for right now.
But you're here. Why would I? But listen to us. Fuck the long term. We here right now. This is it. This was your chance. You could have been a championship contender team. I'm telling you, if Anthony Davis was on this Lakers team right now, they would have beat the brakes off the Minnesota Timberwolves. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it because guess what? Nas Reed don't got to waste no effort. You can sit here and tell, like, and JJ Redick is an idiot. Like, bro, he kept playing small ball, and you got all these niggas spacing the floor. No, nobody inside, ain't nobody banging. So it's niggas shooting threes, and then they go for a long rebound.
That's the NBA.
Now, they the NBA now. You ain't been watching no goddamn playoff game. This is the lowest scoring playoffs in God knows how long.